at the top of the box office. The film has been putting up solid numbers and added over $16 million in its third weekend since release.
I'm Chris Coraggio, NBC News Radio.
NBC News on KCAA Loma Linda, sponsored by Teamsters Local 1932, protecting the future of working families. Teamsters1932.org.
All right, good evening. Welcome to the Farron Dozier Show on KCAA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also streaming from the KCAA Radio.com website and MBRradio.us. We gotta bless the show before we get started. Let's go. When I was in my mother's womb, I had a calling on my life to do something in the glory of God and marry it like a wife. Commit myself to his word and never be led astray. And when it's all over, when he comes, I'll be glad to see that day in the morning time. All right, good evening. Welcome to the Farron Dozier Show on KCAA Radio, 106.5 FM and 1050 AM. Also streaming from the, this headphones is terrible. From the radio.com website, the station that leaves no listener behind. Again, thanks for listening in tonight. I have a very important show for you. I'm over here on double duty, so I'm working on getting this other platform show set up as we are live. So, but I got some, there it goes. Okay. That's good. Again, so thank you for listening in to the Farron Dozier Show on KCA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also stream from the KCA Radio.com website. The station that leaves no listener behind. Is that the DJ equipment? Oh, we got a live DJ over here, ladies and gentlemen, and his equipment is making some noises over here. So that's what we're dealing with. Chicka, 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 chicka. All right, so tonight's going to be a very impactful show for you as always. We got the Sports Collective TV, media, radio segment set up as well. But I'm actually over here working to get this other thing. So what we're going to do is we are going to go and play a commercial. We got some PSAs to play, and then I'll come back and we pray that everything that I'm doing over here on the side is set up. So again, we appreciate you for tuning, listening to the Farron Dozier Show on KCA. This is our partner, Comigo.
Some of us still carry the burden of battle. It threatens to drown us in our everyday lives. In battle, we had our weapons and combat gear to keep us safe, to keep us confident. But when we returned home, we were not armed with weapons and gear to cope with our own minds. I was lucky to find my combat gear, my mental weapon, and it's called Comigo. Comigo is a drug-free device that allows you to achieve calm in less than 3 minutes, in moments of anxiety, stress, anger, panic, or insomnia, not with medication, but rather by activating the parasympathetic nervous system through breathing regulation and multisensory stimulation. A recent study has shown that Comigo decreases PTSD and anxiety levels in veterans, helping those who are suffering and having a long-lasting effect. Visit Comigo.com to learn how you can get Comigo through the VA or with a special veterans discount code.
All right. Welcome to the Farron Dozier Show on KCAA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also streaming from the KCAA Radio.com website, the station that leaves no listener behind, and the Military Broadcast Radio Network. That's right, MBR. We're streaming on platforms tonight from both platforms. Make sure you go and check out the MBR platform at mbrradio.us. They are giving veterans like myself a voice, and I am very appreciative and grateful that they have allowed me to bring my show to their network as a veteran, 24-year Army veteran as well. So for those of you who support veterans, make sure you go check out my brothers and sisters on mbrradio.us and check out the other shows that are on those platforms. My brothers and sisters are out there. All right. What else? So we got, again, Sports Collective is going to be coming in at the bottom of the hour around 8:30-ish. There's some conversation I want to have with you this first half of the segment. Again, tomorrow is Veterans Day, and so we just want to, I just want to give you some insights from my perspective, and I'm not speaking for all veterans either. I may be sharing from some veterans who may feel this way that may not say it publicly, but sometimes when you say thank you for your service, we know you mean well. We know you mean well. And as a veteran, I remember being trained and taught that civilians don't understand us. Right? So if I speak to you from this conversation of being trained as a soldier, a new soldier, that civilians don't understand you, and then we go through our life in our career, and then we come out and we're back into this civilian world, and then you have people come up to you and say, thank you for your service. Like, sometimes as human beings, we say stuff insincere, right? And it's not right or wrong. This is not a right or wrong, good or bad conversation. But there are a lot of veteran things going on in the world, in the community, that thank you for your service. We need more than the thank you. Like, if you really care, or you just want to say thank you because that's what most people say on Veterans Day or these different holidays, sometimes just saying hi is enough. Because if you understand, a veteran takes his or her life one every 65 minutes. And it's 8 o'clock tonight, so do the math. And so, yes, we appreciate it. I say in return, thank you for paying your taxes. So if people say if they thank me for my service, I say thank you for paying your taxes, because I'm retired. And right, so y'all supporting the brother in his retirement. But real talk, sometimes do you if you've lost a loved one and you're in your grieving process, some people will tell you the worst thing you could say is, let me know if you need anything. Like, that's not what they want to hear at that moment. Do you understand that? That's not what that person in grief. So sometimes that's not what a veteran needs to hear. Just be genuine. Just be realistic. Imagine how you would feel. And so those are some of the things that I'm working with organizations that we talk about. We are done with we're done with thank you for your service. We have a curriculum that helps veteran suicide. We have a curriculum that helps restore relationships. Can you imagine coming out of the military and your career's over, and maybe not by choice, and now you got to figure out what's next for your life? But see, it's not just veterans. This is a human being conversation. Imagine if you're a law enforcement, you've been a police officer for years, you've been a doctor, you've been a basketball player or an athlete for all those years, and that uniform comes off. Then you got to figure out, who am I? So just be mindful. It's not always a happy Veterans Day for some veterans. And I'm not saying, again, this is not a right or wrong, a good or bad, or I'm not judging or chastising, but we're human beings first. And there's a 1% of us who did what we did for this country for whatever reason we did it for. And the thank you for your service is not a bad thing, but lbisolutions.com if you want to talk about helping veterans. If you want to talk about it. So you got something that you want to address, you want to talk about. There are things that we're willing to share and discuss around the veteran topics. And so please just be mindful this holiday. Veterans Day is tomorrow. There's going to be soldiers all over the place. And we just want to make sure that you're mindful about what's actually going on. So with that being said, again, very appreciative to be a part of these two networks, the KCA Radio 106.5 FM, 1050 AM, and also streaming from the KCARadio.com website. So if you're in the Inland Empire and you listen to us from the radio, AM, FM, 106.5 FM or 1050 AM, you can go to KCARadio.com, type in that URL, click listen or watch live, and you can catch us in the studio. And if you're on your phone and you want to download the app, KCA Radio has an app as well. And if you're interested in the Military Broadcast Network, radio network, you can go to mbrradio.us and also Google in the apps and find their app as well. That platform is strictly a veteran military platform. first responders in our community. So if you're interested, please take a listen to those different shows. Wherever you download your podcast, and you can find my show and all the other shows there as well, for both platforms. Today, I had an opportunity to speak at church. I speak at the ministry. I speak at the Ministry of Reconciliation on third Sunday, but second Sunday I speak at the New Earth Christian Church. Pastor Larry Dozier. Pastor Larry is my cousin. He has an online church, and for the last, I lost track, maybe 2.5, almost maybe 3 years now. At least 2 years I've been speaking there for Youth Sunday. And one of the things that we talked about, or I shared, was about the prodigal son. And a lot of people know that story about the son and how he took his inheritance and he left. And then he pretty much blew it all and then ended up in the pig pen, pigsty, and eating pig's food and living in the pig pen, right? And so the basis of all that conversation today was, yes, sometimes we get in situations where we go through these trials and tribulations of our life. But if we really believe that God is with us and God knows all and he's taking care of us in every area of our life, then guess what? Then even in the prodigal son story, was God with him? And so I looked at that, and I looked at my own life, and I looked at it, and I was like, you know what? God was with me in my whole life. Even when I wasn't a part of church, that he was still with me, protecting me, providing for me. Even though I didn't think it was what I needed or what I wanted, he still provided. So when you look at that passage of the prodigal son, he talks about taking his inheritance. Well, what's your inheritance? I looked at my own life, and my inheritance was at 18, 19, I wanted to leave. I moved out of my parents' house. I was just tired. I wanted my own space. I wanted to be on my own. I was tired of people in my clothes and in my room and on my phone, and so I left. Now, to be honest, looking back, I should have stayed at home at least till I was about 25 or 26, but I left at 18, 19 years old. That was my inheritance that I wanted. I wanted my freedom. Guess what? Well, freedom ain't free. Independence cost. And so looking at that passage and studying that for myself and then sharing that with the children and the parents, it's like, hey, that young man took off, ended up in the pigsty, but guess what? He was eating pig slop. And guess what? What's pig slop? Potato skins, different types of foods mixed together, and that's what the pigs eat. Well, guess what? Some people eat potato skins. So you can eat the potato or you can eat the potato skins. That food is still provided by God, right? And when I saw that, I was like, man, that's right. He was being taken care of even in the midst of him being or experiencing himself being lost. Like he may have made a mistake and didn't know how to come back home. But God provided him food, even if it was pig slop, right? And then we look at the wood that pig pen was built from. Well, guess what? Could that be the same wood that the house was built from? So if the house is built from wood and the pig pen is built from wood, then he was still living in what God provided. It was just a pig pen. I told the children sometimes my mom would say my room looked like a pigsty because I had clothes everywhere. But in that passage, God provided for that young man. And that's in Luke 15, 11 through 32, that story about the prodigal son. And so when I looked at that and I looked at my own life and I could relate to that, the Spirit put on me like, you need to share that story because people don't think that God is with them in the midst of their trials and their tribulations. But the most important part of that conversation is at some point, he came to himself. And what it means is he realized what he has done, where he was living at, and he was willing to come back home to his father to just be a slave, he's like, I'll just go back to my dad and just be his slave because I don't even deserve to be in his house. I don't even deserve to be his son. That's what he told himself. Do you know that some people walk around like that in life, that they can't even talk to their mom and dad because they feel like they've made a bad decision or a bad choice, and they don't even have the strength or the confidence or courage to go back home and start over again and be like, hey, forgive me, I want to come back home, Mom? See, we make it wrong that people want to go back to their home because they're older, or because you're 25 or 30 and you shouldn't go back home. Sometimes we make mistakes. Sometimes we make bad decisions and bad choices, and we don't see the unforeseen consequences. So in that passage, he came to himself and was like, I'm going to go back home just as a slave. But guess what? When he returned home, his dad saw him, and he was like, that's my son. But he wanted to be his dad's slave. He says, no, you're my son. Go get the biggest calf. We're going to celebrate. And this, my son's I thought you was lost. Children. See, we're all somebody's child. So I'm just asking you, even if you're an adult, how is your relationship with your mom and dad? Have you had the ability to go back and have a conversation with your mom and dad? Maybe there's a conversation of some misunderstanding. Maybe there's a broken relationship. Maybe you can be the one to come to yourself and realize your behavior toward that parent or towards your mother or your father, and that you can go out and find out and reconcile that relationship. Don't wait for your parents to come to you. What if they pass away and you don't get an opportunity to? So that passage is what I shared today. Very impactful. I truly believe that is something that I'm going to be sharing more often, because as a son to my father, I was able to reconcile my relationship with my dad 8 years before he passed away. And let me tell you, I'm so glad that I have no resentment or regrets from my dad when he passed away. I miss his humanness, but I have no regrets, no resentment. I said everything I needed to say to him, even when he died unexpectedly. But it's going to be so important for us as people to start to get our lives back in order. And it's never too late to go back home. It's never too late to talk to your mom or dad. It's never too late. You just got to be willing to take responsibility and listen. Be responsible for your part of that misunderstanding. People don't realize how simple it is to restore a relationship. And so to be able to share that today with the children and the parents, very, very blessed, very grateful to be able to deliver that message. So if you want more information, farrond.com, you can go check it out over there. That's where you can find a lot of my talks from church. You can find what I'm up to. Again, for the veterans, I'm not going to say Happy Veterans Day yet, because it's not Veterans Day yet. And so just be mindful that if you have a veteran in your life, before you say thank you for your service, find out what's going on in a veteran's life, right? Because sometimes we can be so sincere. And sincere is not wrong, it's not right, but sometimes being sincere is not connected to that person, right? And we want to be able to communicate together. We want to be able to live in harmony and listen to one another without being defensive. And sometimes saying nothing is best. Sometimes I wear my army hat so people don't speak to me. This is my leave me alone hat. But sometimes people do say something to me. And when they say, my response today is, thank you for paying your taxes. All right? So farrond.com, WDC on SCT.org. That's my organization for my sickle cell trait awareness. That's my what's next. Sometimes as a veteran, we got to find out our what's next. Who am I? After that uniform is done, ask an athlete, when that uniform is done, who am I? And sometimes we don't know who we are when that uniform is not on anymore. But it's not just soldiers. There's athletes, there's doctors, there's firefighters, there's nurses, people who are in uniform. That identity sometimes gets trapped in who they are in that uniform. All right? So I hope you enjoy that first half. Again, this is the Farron Dozier Show on KCA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM, and the Military Broadcast Radio Network, mbr.us. I appreciate y'all for hanging out for this first half of the show. I'm going to take a break. So just so you understand, I'm on two platforms right now. So I'm streaming on the AM/FM And I'm also streaming right here on the MBR platform on the computer. So if you see some shifting going on, the MBR, you get the behind the scenes because you get to see what's going on over here, right? So we'll be right back. The Farron Dozier Show. This is our partner, Comigo. Shout out, what's the count?
Some of us still carry the burden of battle. It threatens to drown us in our everyday lives.
Who that is?
In battle, we had our weapons and combat gear to keep us safe, to keep us confident. But when we returned home, we were not armed with weapons and gear to cope with our own minds. I was lucky to find my combat gear, my mental weapon, and it's called Comigo. Comigo is a drug-free device that allows you to achieve calm in less than 3 minutes in moments of anxiety, stress, anger, panic, or insomnia, not with medication, but rather by activating the parasympathetic nervous system through breathing regulation and multisensory stimulation. A recent study has shown that Comigo decreases PTSD and anxiety levels in veterans, helping those who are suffering and having a long-lasting effect. Visit Comigo.com to learn how you can get Comigo through the VA or with a special veterans discount code.
Welcome back to the Farron Dozier Show on KCA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Let me move this because this is not a official sponsor right here. You don't get that. You don't get no plug like that. This is the Farron Dozier Show on KCA Radio, 106.5 FM, 1050 AM. Also streamed from the KCARadio.com website, the station that leaves no listener behind, and Military Broadcast Radio Network, MBR, the station that gives veterans a voice. So we appreciate you for hanging out tonight, getting set up, as you can see, for the Sports Collective TV, media, radio segment. We live, right? So anything can happen when we live. So if you see somebody walk by like Coach Will or his son here, don't worry about it. This is real. This is real live radio. This ain't fake stuff. We in it to win it. All right. So again, what else? My ABA team, just so we can say, get this out the way. Yes, we had game number 2 last night against the Chula Vista Suns, and we took another L with pride. They're one of the top teams in our conference, so how can we not come together as a brand new team? But we scored 137 points last night, so we lost by 44. Tough loss because we had a run in the third quarter. However, again, when you're playing one of the top teams in your conference, you know what's possible. And so we take that L with pride, and we are working on our next run, which is going to be up against the Las Vegas Royals. This weekend, Saturday, we play the Royals. And so I got a plan to figure out how to get out there and do that on Saturday. Huh? The Royals, the Las Vegas, the ABA team in Las Vegas, yeah. So we play them Saturday at 12. So, yeah, you want more information about that? orcasaba.com. You can go there and check us out for the ABA platform. It is in my ministry. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. We know what men are dealing with a lot as men, and so I'm using that platform to have a conversation more than just basketball, but with men. All right. So let's see what's happening, man. Crack your mic. Crack your mic.
Crack nothing. We just,
What's up, man?
What up? We live, man. Just getting ready, man. Coming off a long road trip, but we live.
Yeah. Thanks.
Man. So the ABA game, y'all had 127 points.
137.
137 points. That's big. That's big.
If they just play a little bit of defense. When the shot goes up, find your man.
So are you the owner or the coach?
I'm the owner.
Okay, you got to let him coach.
Well, I am, but we agree. We agree that, but no, but we agree that
owner coach.
Owner coach.
We agree at the same time that we agree that they got to play defense, man.
Farron Dozier, Cuban.
Farron Dozier defense.
Hey,
fundamental basketball.
FD, the FD, huh?
No, it's just fundamental basketball. I'm old school.
Box out, shots in the air.
Defense wins games.
Yeah, 137 points.
That was good.
That was great.
How many points did they score?
They scored 188. So the 136 wasn't enough.
That clip's going viral.
That wasn't enough.
Points.
That wasn't enough. So
201 game.
Yeah,
hey, yo,
that's a lot.
So
That's a
so
lot.
the first game we lost. We lost by 60.
But
And
how
they
many
had
points?
They had 196.
Oh.
Almost. Y'all
Yeah,
really.
We almost gave up a 200.
Y'all trying to set records.
Yeah, we
I'm not
almost gave
mad.
up a 200.
See, how long are the quarters, though?
Same.
Oh, yeah, see.
Are y'all
Defense is-
playing on rookie or what is going
Yeah,
on?
rookie mode. sliders
Okay. So where did you recruit most of your talent from?
Randoms.
Randoms.
Yeah, because it was late in the season.
Pull-ups.
Yeah, it was then. So they was like, I want to try out.
Nice.
So I'm like, come try out.
So they're finding themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
finding
And that's
themselves. Okay.
that's what I'm allowing to happen is that they
Finding
get
some
to
defense.
they get to find themselves. Yeah.
That's good. That's good. No, man, but just getting things going, man. You know, we had a real busy weekend of football, man. It's been a great weekend of football. Anytime any of the teams that I root for win is great. And you know, the Cowboys lost, so I really don't have much to say until we get into this interview.
Let me unplug some stuff over here
always
with
rough.
my streaming platform over here because the sound is not.
I think Trey Lance was playing, though.
The trade get in. We're gonna let Sports Log give us a little bit of. We're gonna find out through Sports Log. You know what did Trey Lance numbers look like today? You know, I'm depressed. I'm a depressed Cowboys fan, so I got to be, on point. You know, but it's a good weekend of football. A lot of good wins. College football was great. You know, I'm excited to see what the playoffs hold. I'm excited to see, more high school football and what the future of these playoffs hold as well. So I'm excited.
Are we gonna get into that right now?
Go ahead, yeah. Let's sports log. Let's sports log.
Sports log. Can you unmute yourself, man? Are we gonna be able to hear
We're gonna
you?
let you log.
Let the log.
What's the count?
What's up, yo?
My God, is that? I got an echo. Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure you got your headphones on over there. Okay. Make sure you got your headphones on over there.
Trey Lance, I didn't have them in my notes today. The
Oh.
Cowboys didn't look worthy of it. I'm sorry you're a Cowboys fan.
Aha, says the Niners fan, but no problem.
Oh.
Hey, I'm wearing red this weekend.
I appreciate
It
it.
doesn't have anything to do any other affiliation.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, what a weekend, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mile the mighty have fallen.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Kansas City, Denver's no, they faced them a lot being in the same division. But Miami Hurricanes yesterday fell to the Georgia Tech Ramblin' Wreck Yellow Jackets.
Oh, he's in
Second year in a
college.
row. They've knocked them from the ranks of the undefeated. And speaking of Florida, the whole state went 0-11 this weekend.
He said the whole state? The whole state?
Miami's your only hope. Like tomorrow night.
Oh my God.
Hey,
And the
I love it.
Gators, who
I
lost
love
to
it.
Powerhouse Texas Longhorns. Only their fourth meeting, but they went 100 years without scoring a TD against that team.
Wow.
Texas has kind of owned them 100 years, no TDs, but only 4 times. That's kind of crazy.
100 years.
1990, 1940 was the last time they played. Anyway.
What?
Nah, that's crazy stats right there.
Have an 18-game streak with 2+ sacks a game. That's a pretty crazy streak.
And the best running game in the industry.
Yeah.
The train.
Did you see Jamar Chase Thursday night? Well, he caught 11 receptions for 264 yards, 3 scores. That was the first time 2 QBs have accumulated 8 TDs in 2 games between each other. That's a battle. We can say that Cincinnati has some gripe. A lot of people have complained about the non-calls. A little bit of atrocious going on. One guy had two face masks in his head at the same time at the end of the last play. And Gasecki, let's not, non-calls have been a big thing recently. But huge plays. Garrett Wilson, 2 Thursdays ago, took care of the Jets over the Texans.
Yeah.
Jets crashed back to earth today against Arizona, the NFC West leading team. Texans staying within it tonight. They're tied with 2 minutes to go against the big Detroit Lions, who I got a hand on this year. They're definitely soaring. Second best record in the league. Kansas City stayed undefeated today.
All right.
Dodgers won the World Series.
Oh, man. Sports Talk, man, we thank you for hanging out with us. Let me see.
Hey.
Don't go nowhere. We're going to test some sounds real quick. All right. Again, you're tuned into the Farron Dozier Show on KCA Radio 106.5 FM, 10:50 a.m. Again, we are live, ladies and gentlemen, in the studio, KCA Radio and NBR Radio as well. So we got to get another mic or something in here.
We good to go.
Yeah, let's get another mic. So just come on in. Come on, sir. Get in there. Introduce yourself to the listeners, man. Your mic on? Come on, don't be shy. You're not brand new either.
Never knew.
What's happening?
What's good? Ariane Lang, class 25 athlete, 3-star, and I'm just here to do what I do on another level.
I'm gonna take this on while your
got
pops
this.
get situated.
You got this. You got this.
What's going on currently? Give us some feedback from this past weekend.
This past week, we won in the first round of playoffs against Lusinger. It was a close game until the fourth. We pulled out late fourth with a big stop on defense, and we scored with, I think, 2 minutes left to create the final score, being 34-22, and we ended up going for 2. Coming out of halftime, it was actually, we were up 21-7. So they made a little comeback in the second half, and we just had to, have that grit and pull it out.
For you, I'm a mental toughness guy. We're gonna talk about stats with In the Zone with Robert Lamar and Scholarly stuff. But for me, that mental toughness. Where was your mind at as you prepared for that game all week?
I mean, being a senior and knowing this is not per se my last season of football, because I'm gonna continue at the next level, but knowing it's my last season of high school football, it's something that I wasn't ready to be done with.
Right.
So throughout the week, I think we have 28 seniors, and majority of us do play. So it was a big impact on the thought process and playing for each other.
No doubt. I'm gonna save some of that for In the Zone. During the game, where was your mindset as you were inside those downs and playing both sides of the field?
I mean, in the game, I think once I get in those lines and it hits 7 p.m., put the helmet on, I just turn into a whole different person. So majority of the time, I'll come out of the game and not remember half of it.
Really?
But I mean, just knowing that I'm gonna go out there and perform and do what I do on another level is just something that I built the confidence to do. Have the trust and belief in myself.
How can I say this? I related to you when you pointed to the putting on your helmet. I know as a motorcycle rider, I transform my character into that motorcycle rider character, right?
Yes, sir.
So I definitely could relate to you when you said when you put that helmet on, it's like a whole nother person shows up in that. So
Yep. You have like Brian Dawkins in the Wolverine. Go crazy.
Speak to more of that conversation. As far as you're preparing, for these games, your thought process. Are you ever on the field thinking like, what am I gonna eat for lunch or eat for dinner tonight? Like, where does your mind?
Yeah. Majority of the time, I am trying to be locked in and focused. But I mean, every here and there, I'll get a little stomach growl and it'll wander. Like, hey man, what am I about to eat after practice? So I mean, it definitely happens. Just having fun while being serious. So it happens at times.
So you got another game coming up?
Yes, sir. We play Marietta Valley next week.
So not too far in the future, but where you at right now with that? What do you focus on for yourself?
Right now, just watching film, really getting down their tendencies, what they like to do, what we're gonna see, how they play when they play teams such as ours, with the defensive scheme, the offensive scheme, and just going out there and performing.
We interviewed somebody. I don't remember the athlete's name, but he was one who watched film and he was looking at body movement and knuckles. You remember who that was that we interviewed that Sunday?
I mean, there's so many.
I know, but it was recent too, though. I forgot who it was.
Is this mic on?
Specific, definitely.
Is my mic on?
You right.
Yeah, you're live.
Better be on.
Darn right.
So Los Al has messed up the church's money, huh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, congrats on that win. That was a big victory.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
Check this out. This perspective. First and foremost, hey, congratulations on Memphis. Big baby, let's go!
Yes,
Man!
sir.
We got Memphis, baby! Yeah! We in the house, baby!
Yes, sir.
Yeah! First and foremost,
Yeah.
that's so big for us. That reaction was real
Yes, sir.
because we've been watching the process the whole time. Been waiting to hug you for like about a month now
Yeah,
in regards to
it's been-
that. So
I appreciate it.
so
man.
proud of you, man.
I appreciate
So
it.
proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll touch down on that a little bit later. But you're a senior now.
Yeah.
All these 7-on-7s, all that don't matter and everything. But check this out. There's some good teams that are not playing football anymore.
That's real. Yeah.
You still playing.
Yeah, we get to continue.
And then to top it off, I believe you guys are playing the top seed. Is that correct?
We're playing the 1 seed in
So-
our bracket, yeah.
Yeah. So you guys got the bracket all messed up. So if you guys pop the top seed, then everybody's like, oh, we all think we have a chance. But see, I told your dad, I kind of trust you guys, kind of, because your defense is good.
Yes, sir.
Offense is good too. But when it comes down to the playoffs, it comes down to quarterback play. And if your quarterback is solid, you guys are everybody's worst nightmare.
Yes, sir.
And
That's real.
to his credit, he played. But if you're going to win in playoffs, you got to run that ball.
You do.
Got to run that ball and defend.
We sure did that. I think our running backs had about 4 touchdowns combined. 3 touchdowns.
It was dope. So what's the helmet? Used to play football, so I know the helmet. Looking at the helmet, I know you're not sorry. Because it's dirty.
It's
Yes,
dirty.
sir.
It's dirty. You know, if you got a clean, shiny helmet, you sorry.
Yeah,
Because you ain't been doing nothing. Both ways. It's been a journey.
Sure has.
How do you like I've seen your highlights, but how do you like being on that island? You look like a wide receiver on the island, man. What's going on?
I mean, I love it. I mean, I get real comfortable. Just especially majority of the time I'm on the other team sideline, so just being comfortable with being uncomfortable, it's a whole nother feeling.
You have like so much control. You see a lot of players that they got the ability, but they're not in control of themselves.
Yeah.
You're always in control on both sides of the field. How did you get to that point, to the point where everything is just smooth at this point?
I mean, it definitely did take time and trust. I mean, a lot of the work I put in off season comes into fruition with that. But just being able to trust in everything I've done and everything I've been throughout freshman, starting off varsity as a freshman, to just being here now, and knowing that I can make the play with no problems is just a whole nother type of feeling.
Absolutely. I mean, you went to a big boy program.
Yes, sir.
And you proved that amongst the best of the best, that you are amongst the best of the best. You didn't go over there and take a back seat. You came there and excelled and add to what they were missing.
Yes, sir.
Like, how much pride do you take in knowing that you were one of the missing pieces to the program?
I definitely do take a lot of pride in it, just knowing that I can go anywhere and just like plug and play, and still be who I am.
It's not too much left. It's really it's a crazy feeling when you actually get to think, like I said, like there's some good teams that are not playing anymore.
A lot of them.
This is the end of the road for you. Like, it's championship or bust.
Yes, sir.
Oh, don't. He does that every time. Every time.
In the room.
But, I mean,
In the morning time.
is this everything that you thought that it would do?
Can't let go, baby.
You said in the voting time. Did this turn out to be what you thought it was going to turn out to be? In regards to, like, your journey? Or did things kind of, like, take an unexpected turn? Like, where are you in regards to, like, what you thought that this process was going to be for you?
I think for the most part, it's what I've seen and foreseen it for my future. But I mean, with this year especially, I saw going a little bit differently.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
And God's timing, so everything's good.
I look forward to it.
God's timing.
You guys got a opportunity to mess up the church's money again.
Yes, sir.
And if you do that, you're going to give people false hope, thinking that they can win. But you guys are the key. You guys got a two-headed monster.
Yes, sir.
Two-headed monster. You got a defense that can play with anybody. Just got to make sure you're not turning over the ball.
Yeah.
Because what Oaks Christian did was have the top running back in the state
Yes, sir.
up by 11 points with 5 minutes left, and they did not give him a carry. So just to
crazy,
kind of rat on something else, 8 carries, 133 yards. What's going on here?
8 carries, 133.
8 and 133, and I don't get
133.
nothing else.
5 minutes left. You put that quarterback, who is a stud for a youngster, Webster, you put him in a position, he's young though, to basically throw the ball when you're on your 30.
Yeah.
Oak Hills, if you're listening, you guys deserve to be fired. You did that to your seniors.
Ooh.
You let your seniors down by your play calling. Don't blame the players. You put that baby in a position that he should have never been in. So, hey, shout out to Oaks Christian for them being able to actually take advantage of, like, I guess a coaching staff that actually act like they don't know how to play competition and win playoff football. Shout out to Oaks Christian.
I did choose
He did.
Oaks Christian.
He chose. He
And I
chose.
said it was going to be about a 3-4 point game,
Yeah, he did.
right?
He did.
Right. But 2 carries a quarter, and I'm at 130. 5 minutes left. You know what this feels like?
What?
Marshawn Lynch, Pete Carroll,
Kyle
Seattle
Shanahan,
Seahawks.
Super Bowl versus the Patriots.
Come on, it just feels like I've been here and I've heard this type of story before. So shout out to that boy Carson Cox. Not to
Yeah,
individualize anybody because that was a great team. Oak Hills is a great team. I know a lot of players on that team that are great, phenomenal kids. Tough way to go out as a senior when you have the capability and the tools to make things happen. So no shade to the staff. I don't know what their game plan was. For
I shaded.
Shady Acres over here. I personally don't know what the game plan was, but hey man, shout out to those guys, and Oaks Christian earned that dub, and we're not gonna take nothing away from those kids. But when you got a horse like that, you run him, because he's not. That's a guy who we didn't consider just one of the best in the state,
Up in the
but one of the
nation.
best in the nation.
Shout out. So where's the are you guys playing at home, or are you guys playing on neutral field? I mean, at their home?
No, there was a coin flip for us and Marietta if we both won, and we won the flip, so it'll be back
You
at
guys
home.
got a home game?
Yes, sir.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, wow.
That's going to be bad for them.
Well, that's what we're hoping. I know that they just, they game plan well. And
That's a well-coached program.
They get a chance to deliver week in and week out, right?
Yeah.
Big thing I hear around the program is redemption, and they always give themselves a chance to come back and make the next play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Make the next play, flush the previous play, make the next play, and they're great. it's one thing when you got a great group of kids that are like individually talented.
Yes.
But when they know that the goal was
As a collective,
right?
Yeah.
And I watched those guys merge their energies to become brothers. That, you know what I mean? You know, like in the service, right? You all everyone comes from different walks of life. And then you see yourself, you humble yourself to say, this man next to me, I want you to be great.
Right.
Because I know that we're only as strong as our weakest link and all that. That whole mentality, right, is a big deal, you know. But I do like the way that the guys on the team didn't lose the I in team. Right, like you talk about. You could see with the guys on the team, the two great running backs. There's actually a third running back there that doesn't get a lot of conversation. They have another running back that's like really a dog. Like this kid Gavin is a stud.
So
power back. He can really go too. But then you got a great group of receivers. You know what I mean, with Ari and Tron and Beckham and Cam, and you know there's a great group of receivers. But I think that one of the most underrated conversations around the team is that they have one of the best secondaries in the country. No. I mean, when I say, is this clear? Can y'all hear me? One of the best secondaries in the country.
Yeah.
You have a 6'2", 205 corner over here who's lights out, can play on any level. You have not just two great safeties in the nickel, but you have three great safeties, right? Then they have two additional corners, right? So when you have Matt and Ari, you know, on the other side as well, and they're all rotating, you have three good corners that can really just lock down the field. You have safeties that are really smart, that can get to the ball, that are willing to tackle. They don't give up a lot through the air. They don't give up a lot through the air. It's a lot of groundwork. So I salute that the secondary. I salute the staff and what they're trying to do. It's tough when you're loaded because everybody feels like
they need to be playing.
They need to be playing, or they need that opportunity and things like that.
Right.
Like for instance, like I'll ask Ari, you know, like being a two-way player, having an opportunity, putting up crazy numbers, freshman year, sophomore year, you know, what is it like now having to balance a little bit more, you know, having to find that play, dig that play out? Like, where does your heart go to when you feel like, I mean, you know what it's like to have 11 catches, 200 yards, and then there's games where you didn't have, you know, one catch or two catch. So, like, where does your mind go when you feel like you need to make a play or you need to impact the game and not just be out there? Like, how do you find a way to impact the game?
Usually when I'm out there and I feel like I need to make something happen, like I haven't been too involved in the game. Like I'm there, you know, they don't throw at me a lot. So when I'm on defense, sometimes it's like, hey, you know, I'm making an impact, but it's not a visual crazy impact. So usually I'll just go to a place, especially like during a time of getting water, and I'll just go and just think to myself like, yo, I got to get out here and whatever comes my way, just make something happen. So sometimes, like even we had a game against Lincoln in San Diego, and it's like it's fourth quarter. It's looking like we're about to lose the game, and they go to throw the ball in the red zone, and I come up with a interception. But
Big pick,
just in those moments, it's having to make a play, or I mean, no plays will be made, and I'm just out there.
Definitely. And, you know, how do you feel at this point? You know, they're talking about being a senior. They're talking about kind of like phasing out, right? Like, you know, like you know, openly said, hey, this is not the end of football for me, but we're getting close to the end of high school football with the championship in mind. So when you're at this phase, is there any point, and for the listeners, I ask these questions. No, I want to reiterate. I ask these questions with an open heart. These are not questions that like I prepped. Like I want to know just like the man next to me or just like you as the listener. So is there ever a point with seeing where the industry is and being as smart as you are when it comes to the industry analytics of the sport, do you feel like you should have reclassed? Because for those people that don't know, you are not a reclass player. You did not hold back. You are 17 years old, a senior. Do you feel like you would have benefited from holding back? We don't regret anything, but you know, give us some insight on that.
You know, I definitely see the people that were in the same position as me and did reclass, or even a little bit older than me. I know some some 19-year-old juniors, but I mean, I feel in a maturity wise and just like feeling my body being older, just mentality wise, it could have played a role and benefited me.
That's good. That's understandable, and that's a respectable answer because we do see the game, right? You know,
Yeah.
we've had a ton of conversations on this deck about the highs, the lows, the reclass, and understanding the difference between holdback back in the day and
Right.
reclass now, right?
Exactly.
So there's a lot that I think I personally seen him go through. I remember him saying he didn't want to reclass because he wanted to be class of 25, because, right? Because he has boys who winded up being class of 23. Like, this kid has always been in a situation where he's had to kind of be the younger kid in the older group. So he
Right.
doesn't know anything other than to prove himself. He's
Right.
constantly having to prove himself. And that could be a good thing in the long run, right? He's been healthy. He understands grit, grind. But, you know, I think that anyone would have wanted their senior year, you know, to be as big as possible, right?
Sure.
So what other way to end it than to have an opportunity to go for a championship?
Let me take in your father now. How do you manage this guy for his love and concern for you as a father and getting to that next level, but also as a coach supporting others to get to that next level? What do you want to say about Pops?
I mean, I think he does a great job with keeping him as, two different hats, really, a coach's hat and a dad's hat. So when I'm talking to dad, it's kind of like, hey, you know, he's going to come at me like he's my dad. He's going to tell me what I'm doing wrong, what I'm doing right, and with the truest and most clear way possible. Yeah. And when he has the coach's hat on, he's going to tell me where I can benefit, where I can even my mishaps and where I'm bad at. But when it comes to other people, he kind of doesn't really keep that with me. Like, I don't really care who he helps. I mean, everybody. If it was somebody else's dad, I'd want them to help me as well.
Exactly right.
So I mean, that's just what he does, and he helps who he helps. That's what he does.
I mean, most people do know, like, I tell people all the time, I've been a coach much longer than he was alive, type of thing, right? Like, I know it makes me sound
Right.
aged, but, you know, what I do for people and for their kids and for these families, educating them, supporting them through this journey, it's only because that's what I would have hoped that anybody who had the education on how to help, you know, not just my student athlete, but just give me the information so I can share with the community of people that deserve to hear this information.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard, and it's only gotten harder, right?
Yeah.
It's not gotten easier for our kids to just go to school, get good grades, be good student athletes, and then go to the next level, right? So now to share this information was important. We know that it's became an industry. It's so the information is so important, right? Like, it's such an important information that it's became an industry around it, right?
It's
so
a business.
Yeah, it's a business now. And so
yeah.
what I try to do is try to give to the people, you know what I mean, as much as possible, and the kids that deserve it, you know. So one thing I want to leave this deck with, I appreciate all the support from everybody out there who's helped this young man on his journey, the men on this deck, the coaching staffs out there, the recruiters out there, but really, you know, we have been on this journey, me and this young man, for 17 going on 18 years, and we just want to complete it with, you know, getting him transition to college and hopefully a championship ring. But I love you, son, and salute, and we're going to continue this journey.
Yes, sir. Let's do it.
In the zone, man. Wrap us up, man. We got a
First and foremost, let's send a shout out to Tag and Steel
Man, put on the
for
show.
putting on a video game type of performance. I felt
Yeah.
like the biggest loser not going to that game.
I love both of you guys, man. Seriously, man. Those guys
Sports
are my
Collective
guys, man.
alumni
Man.
going off. That was those two. Shout out to them.
Yes,
that
sir.
was insane.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, any last words you want to say to the people, man?
I mean, you know, me and Los Al as a team, we gonna finish this one out with a ring. Me, personally, y'all gonna see me for a long time on that TV screen. So, hey, Sundays, Mondays, Thursdays, hey,
Yes, sir.
it's coming.
Yes, sir.
Just look for them.
Yes, sir.
All right, man, Coach, thanks for bringing them to the studio in person. For those of y'all that want to be a guest, you know where to find us at Sports Active Media on Instagram. And in the zone, you do?
And one
Go
more
ahead, go
question. Are you looking to sign earlier or are you looking to sign
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a track season ahead of me, so I'll be one of the later signers.
Oh, wait. Let's go.
Yes,
Let's go.
All right. Thanks for listening in to the Sports Collective TV Media Radio Farron Dozier Show. MBR Radio. I hope this doesn't sound bad on y'all platform. And shouts out to KCA Radio. We out of here. Shout out to what's account.
Salute the engineer.
Show. Yeah, shouts out to the engineer.
Shout out the engineer.
Some of us still carry the burden of battle. It threatens to drown us in our everyday lives. In battle, we had our weapons and combat gear to keep us safe, to keep us confident. But when we returned home, we were not armed with weapons and gear to cope with our own minds. I was lucky to find my combat gear, my mental weapon, and it's called Calmago. Calmago is a drug-free device that allows you to achieve calm in less than 3 minutes in moments of anxiety, stress, anger, panic, or insomnia, not with medication, but rather by activating the parasympathetic nervous system through breathing regulation and multisensory stimulation. A recent study has shown that Calmago decreases PTSD and anxiety levels in veterans, helping those who are suffering and having a long-lasting effect. Visit Calmago.com to learn how you can get Calmago through the VA or with a special veterans discount code.
KCAA.
Please join the Yucaipa Calamasa Veterans Committee, a citizen-funded, nonprofit committee organization, as they remember and honor our veterans this Veterans Day, Monday, November 11th, for a legacy of loyalty and service at 11 a.m. It's all taking place at Yucaipa Community Park, 34900 Oak Glen Road in Yucaipa. That's 34900 Oak Glen Road in Yucaipa.